Hello, my 4B friends. Happy asynchronous day. Did you know that just like how February, the whole month was dedicated to celebrating people and their history, so is March. In February, we celebrated Black History Month and we learned about a lot of special people and what they did to help make changes for the African Americans who lived in our country, whether it was with sports or music or schools or just changing laws to make sure that people could be together and not separated because of the color of their skin. We learned about a lot of different people in February, and some of them you actually might remember. Like, we learned about Rosa Parks when we were talking about civil rights and segregation and changing laws so that people who had darker skin could ride the bus and sit on the bus however they wanted. We even learned and watched a movie about Ruby Bridges, who she helped with changing schools, right? She was one of the first African American students to go to a white school. Then we also learned about Ella Fitzgerald when we were talking about musicians and how she was a very famous jazz singer and how she helped bring people together because of her music. And on President's Day, or well, President's Day week, I guess you could say, because we didn't have school on President's Day, I did my African American Black History project on Michelle Obama, who was the first lady of Barack Obama, who was the first African American president in our country. So we learned about four very important women back in February. And now, of course, you can continue learning about them if you want. But did you know in the month of March, we actually celebrate all month Women's History Month? Yes, so just how we had learned about Black History Month, where it was the history and changes and the fight that African Americans in our country did to make laws better for them and make life better for them in our country. There's also Women's History Month to celebrate and talk about what very important women did in our country to make it a better place. And today I am going to be reading to you Brave Clara Barton. Now, if you've already started reading this with me in class, we're going to be finishing the book today. But if this is your first time, like a Manic Monday, we're going to be reading about this woman, Clara Barton, who did a lot during the Civil War to help save our country, or well, not exactly our country, but the people of our country. And because of that, she saved our country. Now, this is Clara Barton, and she lived back during the Civil War, which was a war that happened in America, not America versus another country, like a lot of the wars we learn about. This was a fight between Americans. It was between the North and the South of our country, and they were fighting. Something that they were mostly fighting about is slavery, which we talked a little bit about in Black History Month. Isn't this crazy how it's all coming together, what we're learning in class? Whoa. Well, the North and the South, they were fighting. And Clara Barton and other women were told to stay home and make sure that the kids were taken care of, or that school kept going on so they could teach the kids. They were making sure that they could cook for the soldiers that were fighting or sew clothes for them. But Clara Barton, she was very brave. Brave. Oh, hey, look at that. A blend, a long A, silent E, brave. That's an adjective. Brave means not afraid of something. Or maybe you are afraid, but you're still going to try and fix things. Clara Barton, she did not want to just sit back and watch as people fought and got hurt. So, and you might know from this little red cross on the 10 and on her apron, she decided to nurse the hurt soldiers. And that's very dangerous because that means that she had to go out onto the battlefield, or she had to stick around where the war was instead of hiding away and making sure she was safe. She wanted to be brave and go out there and take care of all the hurt men. Without her, a lot of people would have been hurt and wouldn't heal, or worse, they wouldn't be alive. And so that's why Clara Barton is a very important woman. I actually got this book when I went to Gettysburg. Here's a picture of Smokey looking over a mountain in Gettysburg. Doesn't he look so wonderful? Here's a picture of Smokey on a cannon that they used back in Gettysburg's battles. Man, Smokey looks so good in his green riding coat, right? Well, I got this book there because Clara Barton was around during the war that happened at Gettysburg and the rest of our Civil War era in our country. If you want to learn more about the Civil War, you always can. You'll learn more about it at the end of elementary school and in middle school and high school. But I thought I'd teach you a little bit about one very important woman, Clara Barton. Let's get reading. Brave Clara Barton. There she is, healing a soldier. This is a story of a shy little girl who grew to be brave. Her name was Clara Barton. Clara was born on December 25th, 1821 in Massachusetts. She was the baby of the family, so that means that she had older siblings. Hey, look, she was born on Christmas. Everyone taught her something. Her father told her epic stories of bravery from the time he fought in a war. Her mother taught her to know right from wrong. Clara's sisters were both teachers, and they taught her to read by the age of 3. Whoa, isn't that crazy? So she was 3 years old, and she was already reading. Clara was shy because she had a lisp. So a lisp is when you're talking, you kind of have maybe your S is really long, or your T's or your R's sound like L's or W's. So she was shy because she spoke a little differently than other kids. But her brother David wanted her to take risks. David put her on a horse for the first time before she was even 5 years old. Whoa. David and Clara became best friends. Oh, so her older brother David was very nice to her. When Clara was 12, her life changed. David fell while working in a barn. His injuries were serious. He couldn't walk. No. Clara helped David get stronger and stronger. Finally, 2 years later, David could walk again. Clara realized she liked helping people, but for those 2 years, she barely went outside. Her shyness grew worse. So even though she helped save her brother, she was still shy. Clara's parents wanted her to overcome her shyness, right? So that's to get over something. They told her to try teaching. Clara was scared, but she was also brave. She taught summer school. She loved helping her students. Clara became more confident. So remember I said a lot of women were teachers. Were teachers back then. So just like Miss Remitz, right? And so even though she was shy, she had a lot of fun with the kids, just like I do with you. And so she became confident, which is where you believe in yourself, that you can do good things and great things. Clara moved to New Jersey. Hey, that's us. And started a one-room school. She was a great teacher. Soon Clara's little classroom turned into a big school. Wow, look at all the different aged kids that she taught. Clara was proud. She wanted to become the principal, but a man was chosen instead. People didn't think a woman could lead a school. Clara knew that was hogwash, but she couldn't change people's minds. So just like how we talked about during Black History Month, how people were being told you can't do something or you're not good at something because of the color of your skin, well, Clara was being told that because she wasn't a boy, she was a girl. So saying girls can't do that, girls aren't as good as boys, which we know is not true. Let's see how she deals with that. In 1861, the United States was having big trouble. Many people in the North believed that everyone should live free. Many people in the South believed that it was their right to own slaves. The Southern states decided to try to become a separate country. Ooh, so America was going to be cut in half. Hey, look, cut in half. There's a fraction. President Abraham Lincoln, we know him, was determined to keep the country together and end slavery. The Civil War started. It was a war inside the United States, the North against the South. On April 19th, 1861, Northern troops were attacked on their way to protect Washington, D.C. Some of the soldiers were Clara's former students. She rushed to help them. Clara spent days and days helping the wounded men. She cooked meals for them and she read to them. But supplies were running out. She wrote letters to her friends in the north asking for help. So we can see that she's feeding them and reading to them. So making sure that they're learning, making sure that they're not going hungry, but she's also starting to heal them. And it all kind of started because she was upset that they were hurt, but also a lot of them were her students that she taught in school. So when we read next time, we're going to see how her letters hopefully paid off. Maybe they didn't, but hopefully she got some good things like supplies or other people to help her after she asked for help with her letters. Well, my first grade friends, that is all for me today. We are going to finish up Brave Clara Barton tomorrow. If you want to keep learning about different women for Women's History Month, you can always go to your library. They have a lot of awesome books like this one. You can go on Pebble Go, which we will be doing on Wednesday, don't you worry. Or you can go on Google and YouTube and look at different women for Women's History Month and see what they did to make some changes, all right? I will see you this afternoon, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye.